Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. So if you have heard the news recently, the U.S. government, the Biden administration, has seized 33 websites, including Press TV, which is an outlet of the Iranian government. And, well, first of all, let's go into how this happens. This happens because they seize the domain of Press TV, and previously they had shut down Press TV on YouTube, or YouTube shut them down, whatever the case may be. So these domains are registered in the United States, as are 99% of the global websites. The web domain, the domain name system, DNS, is owned and run by the U.S. government. They can seize any website at any time for any reason. They can seize my website, YouTube can shut down my channel at any given point. So let's go into some of the information here. So if you go to presstv.com, this is what you are going to see. This website has been seized. The domain presstv.com has been seized by the United States government in accordance with a seizure warrant issued pursuant to blah, 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 as part of a law enforcement action by the Bureau of Industry and Security, Office of Export Enforcement, and Federal Bureau of Investigation. Now, the FBI is not commenting on this when questioned. All right, so this is from Slate. According to the Justice Department statement, 30 of these websites were controlled by the Iranian Islamic Radio and Television Union, which is under the control of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. In other words, the Iranian government. The powerful military force. It's also a political party. All right, that exudes significant control over Iran's foreign policy and economy. Other sites seized include Misra, the news service of the Iran-backed Houthi rebel movement, in other words, Yemen. All right, and Palestine Today, a pro-Hamas news outlet. Hamas is, of course, the political party which is fighting against, the Israeli government evicting people from their homes and assassinating civilians in Palestine, while the Houthis are fighting against the Saudis that are murdering, slaughtering people in Yemen. The U.S. also seized 3 websites linked to Kataib Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed Shiite militia group that has been blamed for attacking U.S. troops in Iraq. Of course, U.S. troops are in Iraq and Syria illegally, and they would not be getting attacked if they weren't there illegally. Go down here. However, while the Justice Department statement is a bit vague, of course, it does not appear that the seizure was a result of any content on Press TV. The issue, rather, is its links to the IRTVU and the Revolutionary Guards, which were sanctioned by the Treasury Department shortly before the election last year for attempting to influence elections in the United States. According to a recent National Intelligence Council report, partially declassified in March, Iran carried out an influence campaign during the 2020 U.S. election season intending to undercut the re-election prospects of former President Trump and to further its long-standing objectives of exacerbating divisions in the U.S., creating confusion and undermining the legitimacy of U.S. elections and institutions. Basically, what this comes down to is that they were actually fighting against the Trump narrative that the election was stolen. So they actually, if anything, other than reporting, they actually fought against the Trump narrative and in favor of Biden. Isn't that interesting? All right, so while Iran has condemned the seizure of the websites, it doesn't have any means to retaliate. This may have been a way of signaling to Iran that there are consequences for election interference and signaling to U.S. voters that the Biden administration takes this issue more seriously than its predecessor, while doing so in a way that it won't jeopardize the nuclear talk, and doing it before the two sides sign an agreement that it will include unrelated sanctions relief for Iran. Yeah, I would say that this absolutely jeopardizes the nuclear talks. The American government was able to do this because the site's addresses were registered with U.S. companies. And the U.S. companies are under the control of the U.S. government, which owns the domain name system. All right, so this is censorship, pure and simple, and it is rising, increasing, accelerating under the Biden administration. Anything that you feared that Trump was going to do, Biden is doing more of. He's doing worse. What does it really take to make claims? You know, they were making claims that, like Press TV or some of the other sources had sent out emails claiming to be from the Proud Boys and threatening people. Well, let me explain how easily this can be falsified. At one time, one of the websites that I owned in the past, I wound up being put on an email blacklist for spamming because somebody used my email address and simply used something like Microsoft Outlook or something similar, and they put my email address as a return address. Well, the U.S. government, the CIA, the FBI, whoever, or just some bad actor, individual, can also use your email address and send out threats to other human beings, to other people, and then they turn around and claim that you are issuing threats, even though your email address was spoofed. You don't have any defense against this. There is no defense against this if they're making these claims. Once they make these claims, then they can shut down your website, they can shut down your email, they can take you, they can silence you on all social media, and from there they can file criminal, even terrorist charges against you. They can arrest you, they can seize all of your assets, including your bank account, your car, whatever, any investments you may have, if you are allowed a legal defense at all, which Iran has no recourse for legal defense in this case. Then let's say you start up a GoFundMe to fund your legal expenses, and then the government can seize the funds that go into your GoFundMe account. So you don't have any form of retaliation, any form of defense. any way to express your view, your side of the matter. Yeah, there is no way to defend yourself against any of this. And this is how censorship, this is how fascism functions. This is absolutely fascism. You are not allowed to hear viewpoints from other countries, even as our government, even as our media talks to you about how how people in other countries, China, Iran, whatever, their governments censor information that is available from other countries and within their country, while they're saying how horrible these other governments are and all of this. This is exactly what they're doing. And unless you've been to these other countries, you really cannot say that these things are being censored in other countries. There are absolutely some limitations put on things, just as there are limitations here. If you're trying to literally incite people to violence, then, that is against the law. But now, you are not allowed to hear the viewpoint of other countries that the U.S. government is sanctioning and bombing and illegally occupying. How does that freedom taste? Huh? Freedom of speech, freedom of the press. How is that working out for you? Share this video. Talk about these subjects while you still can. Because, believe me, the time is coming when you will not be allowed to discuss these issues. So enjoy it while you can. If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. And I want to thank Wendy Chavez very, very much for your donation recently. I don't know how long ago it was, but thank you again. All right, so again, share this video, talk about these subjects, and I will catch you in the next video.